Hey, what's up, guys? It's Trav, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the TravTalks Show. We're talking to DustinsMC today. He's my very special guest on the show today.
What's up? What's up?
He has a YouTube channel, and I'll leave that in the description below. He does Minecraft videos, and I'm very happy to have him on the show. He's like, what do you have, like 8,000 subs now?
Currently, let me check here. Currently,
Dude, I give it like 2 years. You'll probably have 10K. Like, you'll have 10K. I already know.
8,256 right now.
And he counted. He counted. He counted, ladies and gentlemen. He counted it.
On one hand.
But yeah, congratulations on that. I can't wait to see
you
you hit that 10 because like all I ever see on your Twitter is DustinsMC 8K. I'm like, he should have more. He should have more. But yeah, check him out, guys, if you're into like Minecraft and all of that junk, especially if you're under the age of 10, most likely, because like I don't know, I think you said one time like most of your audience is like is younger.
Actually, a lot of my audience, believe it or not, is around our age.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, pretty much any age, like a lot of like it could be from 1 to 100, like people play. It's like Minecraft's like such a what do you call it, like all age game. Like it just is.
It is. It is. It's awesome because it just lets you be creative, and I'm a person all about expressing creativity in many different ways, and I just happen to find my way through Minecraft. And you know, I just like the fact that I can go on and build something and upload it, and people can watch and take inspiration to be like, wow, like I want to do that, but I want to do it better, or I want to do this, I want to put my own spin on it. And I just think that's awesome. That's what I love about YouTube in general. And I'm sure it's the same thing for you. You know, like if you can show somebody a food product and, you know, that entices that person to go out and try that food product, and maybe they're going to try something they never thought they would like. You know what I mean? Like,
and
you just
I
put
have
people
that
onto
all the time. I've got people that are like, oh, you know, I'll try that, or they come back to the video like, I tried it because you showed me this or whatever. Sometimes it's just something like for instance that Goji strawberry Mountain Dew. Like I don't know if a lot of people have that or not, but like people are like looking for it because like it's such a rare thing that I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on this right when it's new.
Right.
And like I don't know how many, you know, it's like a select convenience store drink, so I know it's gonna be very limited. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll review it because it's so rare. Like that's kind of the point. But let's start from the beginning, man. Let's just go to step one. Like what I think we were talking about it earlier, like maybe around like 2012 I met you. I think it was like, I don't know, I remember like watching your Attends channel and watching you play Call of Duty, but it's kind of a blur because right before that I don't know how I exactly ran into you, but I think it was through the Easy Now guy, like the Easy Now channel. I think did he not shout you out at one point in time? I don't remember.
He did, and it actually happened because I watched him on YouTube because he actually at the time made emblems in Call of Duty, which is how I found him. And he uploaded a video one time, you know, kind of talking about, you know, like his struggles in life and how he struggled with epilepsy and like being bullied and stuff like that. And at this time in my life, like I was actually having seizures and I was like terrified and I didn't know what to do. And I reached out to him on Facebook, of all places, and I didn't believe it. Like, I didn't think he was real. Like, I don't know, because, like, when I went to his Facebook page, it said, like, it was his personal Facebook. Like, it wasn't, like, a fan page you like. Like, it was his, like, legit personal Facebook. So he added me, and I sent him a message, and I was like, hey, look, you know, like, your video really inspired me and helped me get through, you know, helped me get through this rough time in my life. And the thing is he didn't sugarcoat things. Like he didn't tell me like, oh, you know, things are going to get better. He straight told me, he's like, look, seizures suck. You're going to have them. They're going to suck. It's never going to get better. You know, like you just kind of have to just take it and kind of deal with it. He's like, you know, it's your life and how you tend to deal with the situation is on you. You know, it's either going to be good or bad, but he's like, you know, it's something that's probably never going to go away. And every time it happens, it's just going to suck even more. And, like, I just appreciated that honesty. Like, I'm glad he didn't sugarcoat it. And so I made a video, and I was like, you know, like, look, man, like, I really, really appreciate you, you know, and you helped me, and, like, it helped me kind of cope and understand and deal with what I'm going through. And I sent it to him on Facebook, and he just ended up watching it, and he gave me, like, a big shout-out on his channel, which is crazy, because he had over 100,000 subscribers at the time. And I'm still friends with him to this day. Even though
it's crazy, man. The power of the internet. That's what I was telling Ryan the other day. 'Like, it is crazy what, like, we can do. through the internet. Like, for instance, just as like a little side story that I haven't even told you yet, my mind was blown recently about this, like, this Jor-El, like, I think his name is Jor-El, like, it's like JOR-ELS, like Jor-Els or something. But anyway, he uploaded a video recently, and we all know Chris Stuckman. He's like one of the biggest like movie reviewers out there.
Right.
I don't know if you've actually ever ran across him or anything, but Chris Stuckman is the guy. Like, even if you've never watched a video, he's been suggested somewhere in your like on your feed, like somewhere. Like, his thumbnails are hard to miss. But anyway, like, Jarrell like uploaded a video recently talking about Chris Stuckman and how he's like he feels like he's changed, and this Jarrell guy is like just a super fan of Chris Stuckman. He's watched him for years. He's his biggest movie review inspiration, and this guy has basically made his channel because Chris Stuckman inspired him to do it. And it's just crazy because he made this video just called Chris Stuckman. It's got 3 dots behind it. It's like Chris Stuckman and part 1 or whatever. And he was basically just like going on about like how much Chris Stuckman has like changed. Like he like could see through the screen basically that there was something behind closed doors happening, like, rather maybe, and he wasn't like just jumping out there like, oh, this is a fact, this is a fact. He was just going off like a total just theory that he made up, like, well, maybe Chris is depressed, maybe he's overworked, because he's like one of those YouTube channels that's always putting out content and never stops, and he's just just doing his thing, and it's just like possibly getting wore out.
Yeah.
And so, but long story short, he did a episode, like a part 2 to that video, where he is like Skyping with Chris Stuckman in an interview because Chris saw the video and like reached out to him, like, because his I think he said his freaking mother-in-law saw the video first and then sent it to Chris, like, check this out, like, this kid like really seems like he really cares and all this stuff, and like and it like it touched his soul. Like, he was like, Chris has even made videos pertaining to that recently, talking about like, I want to take you guys on my filmmaking journey, and like, I've just been really, really busy, and like, I'm just basically in the interview he just admits like, yeah, I'm overworked and I've kind of dealt with depression for like forever. So that is just like, that's insane. Right. Like, that's why I've always told people, like, anytime you've ever had the thought of like, because I think every single one of us have had this, and this probably happened to you when you started your Minecraft channel, maybe, but I think everybody has had, like, a creative video idea. If you're a YouTuber, like, you've had an idea, and you're just like, man, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I don't know if I should put that out. I don't know how people will react to it. I don't know. Like, in the end, it doesn't matter because you never know what it can do, like, for other people. And that's kind of one of my points of this show, is just simply, like, just that the idea of, like, the chance that, like, just people being able to just listen and just tune out of whatever's going on for like a little while. Rather, I want to go into like real, like, in like, kind of negative but in a good way, like, topics, or it could just literally be about anything, like,
right.
So that's kind of my like, to anybody listening, like, that's kind of like my whole philosophy of like YouTube in general, is like, always make those videos, guys. Like, always make those videos that like you're not sure if you should, because it's always, you never know what it can do. Like, and for him, he almost didn't make the video. He even says, like, over and over in his video, like, I don't, like I'm struggling to make this video because I'm, like, nervous about it, like, but he's like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna say it, like, and it's like, and he met Chris Stuckman. That's insane. Right. Like, that right there, it's like the power of the internet. And so, like, with you and Easy Now, it's like, you were like a fan of his, and then you got to meet him and everything. Like, it's crazy. Right. Like, we're living on this, like, it's in this, like, world where, like, social media, like, everything. Like, I'm glad there's bad parts to all of it. Like, there's bad, there's negatives to YouTube for sure. There's negatives to social media, but in the grand scheme of things, like, it could reach, like, anyone practically nowadays. It's like, it's insane. Like, just like, that's why Twitter is such an amazing platform. It's like, you could just tag like one of your favorite celebrities and they might actually read it. Like, you never know. Like, but yeah, so like, going back to what I was saying earlier, like, from the beginning, like, yeah, Easy Now, like you met him, and like I ran into you at some point because I started my channel in 2012, so like kind of putting a date on it, and like and I remember you. I put out that video like asking people to do like a parody contest entry because I was just totally open minded to like I really wanted people to like just make fun of me, like just do it. Like I wanted people to open up about that, like just like it's like just do this because I'm not gonna be butthurt about it. Like I'm
Right.
actually wanting people to do this just to kind of break the ice or whatever. Like, and then you put in an entry, and still to this day, I have my playlists of, and I think it's on your Reloaded channel. I don't remember which one, or a Tens 22. It might be that one. Um, uh, like yeah, you put in yours, and like it's so great. Just I rewatched it recently, and I'm like,
It was
this is great.
I remember it too. It was Diet Pepsi, and I put in a fancy cup, and then I
And
spilled it all over the place too.
and your freaking birds, I think,
Yep, the
made a
birds.
cameo. Like you always had like loud birds that you were always screaming at,
Yeah,
which I
I
thought was
hated
great
those
'cause
things,
they
man.
were really loud. But yeah, like so going from that, what was the transition from like doing, what was kind of the creative thoughts? Like I know you said something earlier about like what and why, but like really detailed like what made you want to start like and I know you're like you love Minecraft, you already loved it, what was like your creative transition into the Minecraft channel and like why do you think you still do it?
Okay, what it was for me is, like you said, I've loved Minecraft, and I've played Minecraft, back when I had a channel doing Call of Duty and just a bunch of other games, and I don't know, I always wanted to like learn how to just build good in Minecraft. Like that was my thing. I was like, I want to learn how to build something like really cool. And I remember I would look up tutorials, and back then it wasn't done a whole lot. Like not a whole lot of people did tutorials, or the tutorials that were up, people didn't explain things very well, or they would cut a bunch of stuff out, or they'll like do stuff off camera, and that was frustrating for somebody that was trying to learn and get a better like grasp on the game and how to build. And just I don't know, like I just watched tutorials, and I've watched a lot of not very good tutorials, and I've watched a lot of good tutorials, and I just said, you know what? Like I would watch these bad tutorials, and I would just I'm not trying to say like their content was bad. I mean, I'm just saying they could have done it better. And
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
kind of like you're basically like you knew you could put your 2 cents in kind of situation where it's like you felt like, oh, I could do this too, but maybe even better. Like it's like
right,
it's like you're not trashing the original creator. You're just like, well, I feel like I got something to say about this.
right, and yeah, that's what it was. I was just like, you know what? I honestly feel like I can take this and I can do something with it. And I remember I built this yellow traditional house like out of wool in Minecraft, and it was like the coolest thing to me because it was something that I did completely on my own, no tutorial, and I was so proud of it. And I played around with the idea. I was like, like I built it, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to start a channel. And all my friends were like, dude, it's decent. Like you should do it. Not a whole lot of people are doing this. And I did. Just I and how I do my videos too is like I'll build something and I'll showcase it, and I'll be like, okay, like this is the most recent thing I built, and if you guys want a tutorial on it, like let me know down in the comments. And I try to make it really like interactive, because then I get people's feedback and they're like, oh well, you should like change this about the design, or yes, do it, like I love it, I want it. And I always try to do things too that not a whole lot of people do. But that was just it. Like I just I built that house, I did a showcase on it. I think it got like 25 views overnight, which to me at
We've
the
all had that
time,
video.
like 25 views at that time was insane. And I was like, I'm gonna do a tutorial, and I started uploading it in parts. And next thing I know, here we are, 8,000 subscribers, and 4 years later. And I just haven't
Dang,
stopped.
4 years. That's
It's
like
been 4 years.
that gum.
May
That's like
19th.
I forgot that you were like actually been on for like kind of a short limited time.
Yeah.
And that much, like that's insane. And that's another example of like the power of the internet. And like I already know like very well, and I'm pretty sure you've told me some stuff, but like people reach out to you, and like like I don't know, you probably are super inspiring for like younger viewers, and like and for one, you're literally helping like people's creativity. It's
Right.
like, oh, if you want to build this, like build it like this, like which is great. And I mean, it's a great platform to be on.
I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, and this happened recently, probably within the last month or so. I had this guy comment on my video, and his name is Sean, and don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's like a 45-year-old man who lives with Parkinson's, and he's a retired firefighter. He was a cop, and he commented on my video, and he's like, "Hey, like I'm a retired firefighter and a cop, and I live with Parkinson's, and he's like, I love watching your content. He's like, I built on PS4. I love watching your content. He's like, I love the fact that, you know, you talk to everybody and treat everybody equally. You know, you don't talk to us like kids like most of these other YouTubers. And he's like, and the fact that you can build stuff and, you know, let us use it in our worlds and put our own design on it. He's like, I think that's awesome. And I commented back to him and I was like, you know, hey man, like if you have a Twitter, follow me. And he followed me on Twitter, and like this guy is one of my biggest fans. But it's crazy to think because, like I said, he's a 45-year-old man. But the fact that my videos like inspire him and help him, you know, when his his disease
that's the
flares
world. It
up.
makes you feel like if I was not making this for anyone else, it's for this guy. It's that feeling.
Right,
Where it's like you make your videos and just one person like getting enjoyment or inspiration out of something is enough. Like
right.
and that's yeah.
And that's my goal.
Wild.
Like if I can upload a video and inspire at least one person or make one person's day better, then I've accomplished my goal. And I get a lot of crap too from people, and they're like, "Oh, you've been
Oh
doing
yeah,
this
haters
for..."
will come.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I literally have people that are like, "Oh, you've been doing this for 4 years, and you only have 8K subs." There's people that have like 100K in 4 years, and it's like, and I tell them it's the same thing. Like it's not. It was never about the numbers for me. It's not about the numbers. It's not about how many subscribers I have, how many views I get, how many likes I get, how many comments. It's not about that. It's about my audience. It's about people. You know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah, and and numbers are great to look at and
right.
everything. Like it's like oh, I got this much. Like that's pretty cool. And like the more viewers, I mean, I think any YouTuber can admit like there is a joy of like if you had like a freaking million subscribers, there is like this like oh well like I have more people to put content out for. Like it's that feeling of like when you upload a video, you're gonna get like a mass amount of views like immediately. Like it's that feeling,
Exactly.
and like and to kind of correct that gentleman that said that to you is like look at me, like I'm not even at 3K yet, and I've been doing this for going on 7 years. So
Right.
it's just like it's this whole thing of like, and the food community is different. Like games and stuff are a lot more popular for like people don't like food reviewing is kind of like I call it like a dying breed. But like me and like a bunch of like in the community we're trying to keep it alive because it's just like we want to put out this content and it's like our favorite. And I mean I've loved food forever because you got to eat. Like it's just like like everyone. There's some people that don't aren't like as into food as others, but I'm like a foodie. Like I think about like right when I wake up, it's like, what am I gonna eat? Like, it's just like, I go crazy with it. Like, so yeah, it's just like it does. Yeah, the numbers. To go back to your point, like the numbers just don't really matter. It's who. Because you could get like a million subs, you could get like Dame Drops level. Like I think he just recently hit a million. Like you could get like Dame Drops level like a million subs, and like to me, it's way more. And I'm not saying being a smaller channel is better, because like anyone would love the number, but it's just like that small group of people that watch your videos. Because I could have like a million subscribers and like get just thousands and thousands of views on each video within like the first 10 minutes, but like none of that really matters to me unless like because I know like I'm trying to make like I'm trying to figure out how to say this, like big mass amount of views and I could get like barely any comments on that, but then what really matters is the people that have stuck around, because I've got viewers that like comment on like almost every video, like that I recognize their avatar and their name. I know who they are. It's a personal like kind of friendship we're building through YouTube. Like it's and I've people have added me on Facebook that have watched my videos for like forever. It's that level of like that's what matters to me, and I feel like that's kind of what you mean is like it's this like that connection is what matters. And I think like that's a really good point, and I appreciate you bringing that up because it's like because that's probably something I've never said on the show either, is just like that's truly like just like a behind the scenes like into Trav's brain. Like that is how I think of it. Is like is like all that matters is that is the people that keep coming back. And haters all day long, I don't care what you have to say about anything. Like most haters, most haters have something that makes me just laugh so hard because it's so ridiculous what they said. Like it's not even like, it doesn't make any sense most of the time. And so but the people that make the most sense are the people that that like you. And and I've taken criticism, and I've replied. We've even the people that have came on and said bad crap, sometimes they even come back and I didn't mean to mean it like this. I just want you to focus on oh, you're editing, or I don't know, for example, sometimes I'll build up a product too much, and you realize in my video okay, 2 or 3 minutes in he bites into this, what the heck.
Right.
It is kind of that whole thing of and so I take criticism like that, and I do use it in my production. I use that for my, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it's and that's what criticism, and that's what any kind of quote unquote hate I think should be, is just constructive criticism, where it's maybe it'll make you think a little bit about how you do things, but you shouldn't also let it throw you off too much and just let one person let you change your entire channel just because just because of whatever, and I'm sure you've gotten that plenty of times, where people are just change this, change that, and then you're just thinking, well, if I change what you're saying, I should change, it's gonna change everything that I do.
Right.
Or, and stuff like that. It's crazy what people will throw on and say, and what what Fast Food Pit Stop said in his in his goodbye video, whenever he kind of bailed on YouTube and then came back, because he was so upset about the haters and everything, is this: most of the things that these people will say is something they would not be brave enough to say to your face.
Absolutely not.
It just is.
Absolutely.
It's because most there are some evil people out there, but most people you run into at a gas station, a Walmart or whatever, you do the oh, hey, how you doing, and then you just move on. Those are the people that are behind the keyboard saying this stuff. It's you're most people get along in person. That's probably really bold to say, because there's truth and there's not truth to that, but
yeah,
most people that are just complete strangers to another person are gonna be generally friendly, except for when they get on the road.
Yeah.
I feel like traffic is the example. Traffic feels exactly like YouTube, where it's you could flip me off for doing something on the road, and then whenever we meet at Starbucks, it's gonna be totally different. You're gonna be oh, hey, what's up? You know, it's it's so weird how all that works. It's so weird.
It is, but that's life.
Yeah, love and hate, and it's all there. So gotta be above it and spread the love.
Right. That's the Brooklyn way, as Biggie would say. I love Biggie. But yeah, and another thing I want to touch on too, is while we're kind of on this subject, is I think, I'm going to say it right now, I do not label myself as a YouTuber. I don't, because YouTube is not my full-time job. And I don't want YouTube to be a full-time job, because for me, like I said, it's not about that. There's so much more to it than making money off of it. And I'm not gonna lie, yes, I do make money off of this every month, and it's not a terrible amount, but again, I don't do it full time. And I think as a YouTuber too, you're kind of put on this pedestal of oh, you're a YouTuber, you make content, you have everything you could ever want because of it, and that's not the case. And it just kind of
hardly ever the case.
It kind of bugs me too, because I've had people say oh, or they'll reach out to me about something, and I'm no, listen, I understand, and they're no, you don't understand, because you have the perfect life, and it's huh, not really.
Yeah, and if they could take a view into a window into your life, they would understand we're just people.
Right.
It's this whole thing, we deal with every single whatever struggle that this viewer is dealing with, we probably dealt with it, and it's just that's just how it is.
Exactly. I get up and I work a 9-to-5 job. I deal with stress, I deal with depression, I deal with anxiety. It's real. It's a real part of my life. Just because I make content on the internet, doesn't mean that this stuff just magically goes away. And I don't want to be a YouTuber, people. I want to be a friend. I want to be somebody like that they can like reach out to and feel comfortable talking to me and not feel intimidated because of my following. And I've had that. I've literally had people like scared to death to talk to me because I have 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it's just like, no, like don't look at those numbers. Like look at me
Yeah, and you're
as a
probably the
person.
guy that's like the most, probably one of the most people on YouTube that's like going to respond. 'Cause, like I'll tell you right now, Dustin responds to like almost every message I send on Twitter, and there's like people that are like smaller channels than him that don't even do that for me. So it's like it's this whole thing of like you put on that like you're just a person, like you're just a general friendly person, and like well I think the thing that they're trying to figure out is like, oh, but is that really how he is he actually as friendly as he sounds on his videos? Whenever it's like whenever you get to know like someone like Dustin or me, it's like you realize like, no, they're just normal friendly guys. Like there's nothing to it or nothing else. There's like most of this, but I can also understand like 'cause there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are like faking the positivity and faking the whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know. I try not to read too much into it, and I definitely don't judge people through like a screen on YouTube because there's so much else that could be going on. So that's why I don't, I don't go out of my way to like leave those. I'm never gonna that. I told Ryan the other day, like if I even had the slight thought, which I probably never will, but if I even had the slight thought of like that I hate this video that I'm watching, I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna comment. I only comment if I have something nice to say, like, or positive, it's just, and you're right, like, I don't know if I'm not big enough, I don't think, to ever, like, have somebody be, like, intimidated, but, like, I feel like I've never been approached in person, and I'm waiting for the day that to happen, because, like, I feel like it's gonna be a fan moment for me and the other person. Like, it's this whole thing of, like, if they think they're excited to meet me, like, I'm excited to just be noted. Like, I'm excited. It sounds really like, little like I'm putting it on a pedestal or something. But, like, yeah, I would be just as excited. Like, oh my God, like, and so I've already kind of planned. Whoever is the first person that, like, sees me in person and recognizes that I'm food reviewer TravTries, like I'm gonna probably be like, all right, let's take a selfie. I gotta capture this moment,
Right.
like and just like as like the first, because I want to be able to look back on it. So and I don't know if you, well, then again, you never really show yourself. So I was about to ask like if you've been recognized, but it's like you probably, unless I'm wrong, maybe you have, maybe somebody in person was like, wow, your voice sounds so familiar or something.
It's funny because it's actually happened twice.
There you go. That's insane. It's like you're not even on camera, so that's
Right.
crazy.
Right. No, I actually, when I lived in Florida, I remember, I want to say it was Black Ops 3.
Oh yeah, I think you told me this story.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
And I went in Walmart and I like walked up to this guy. I was like, "Hey, can I have this for the Xbox One?" And he was like, he looked at me, and he was like, "Yeah, like I hope yeah." And he just kept looking back at me, and I was paying, and he goes, "Weird question." And I was like, "What's up?" And he goes, "Do you make YouTube videos?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Minecraft?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you DustinsMC?" And I was like, "I am." And this
That's
guy
so
like
cool.
this guy like freaked out. And the funny thing is he actually gave me his discount on the game, which was really
Wow.
cool.
He's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm such a fan.
Yeah,
I'll
and
discount you.
there was another time too. This was back when Toys R Us was still around. R.I.P. Toys R Us. That still breaks my heart.
You know what? Side note, I hear they're coming back.
I
Another
hope so.
company bought them.
I hope so. But I was with my friend at the time, and we were Christmas shopping, and she was shopping for her daughter. And so I was with her. I was helping her Christmas shop, and it's actually funny because this is literally the day that I bought my PS4. And we're in Toys R Us, and the girl at the counter was like, "You sound and look really familiar." She's like, because I was talking to my friend, and she was like, "You sound really familiar." She's like, "I hear your voice all the time." I was like, "Oh, I make YouTube videos," and that's all I said. And she was like, "Are you DustinsMC?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my God, my brother watches you all the time. My little brother loves you." And she took a picture with me and like sent it to him, and he was just so happy. And to me, like that was the coolest thing that like, like that kid can say like, "Hey, like my sister like, took DustinsMC's money." Like I mean, yeah, I mean it's just it's a pretty wild experience, honestly. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like, and I told you that story about Ashley with the babysitting. So like, I'll go ahead and tell them. I don't know if you remember it, but okay. So even before I met Ashley, which is crazy because we've been together for like over 2 years, so it's like it's insane. So over 2 years ago, she used to like babysit these kids. I don't remember who they like. They're people that the parents are people I don't know. But she used to babysit these kids, and she told me when I met her, I don't know, I guess I was just, or I was watching Dustin, like do a Minecraft video or whatever, and then she just like stopped and was like, she's like, it's like, why does he seem so familiar? Wait a second, I think the one of the boys that she used to babysit was watching Dustin one time before I even met Ashley, like in their house, like so. It was a weird connection where like I knew Dustin at the time, but a random kid that I don't know was like watching DustinsMC back like when she used to babysit, and this kid was like just watching you all the time. He is literally one of your like viewers. I don't know if he still watches you, whatever, but like it's just that is a small world moment right there. That is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
wild.
insane. So like the fact that like she like you know well into our relationship, I'm watching you, and then she recognizes you just from like a past hearing your voice in another time. It's like that's just another one of those like mind-blowing moments. Like it's insane.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Again, that's the power of the internet. Again, like that's it's insane.
And I know another video I uploaded that actually, like, going back to, like, helping people through things is, and how you talked about, like, oh, those if you ever have doubts about making these videos, and I'm sure you remember it, like, I made a video talking about my depression, and I came clean about it, and how I've had suicidal thoughts before and everything, and I put this video on my YouTube channel, and I was so afraid, for the simple fact is I knew people would be like, you know how the internet is, like, you say something like that, and people are like, oh, you should just off yourself, like, you should have just did it, like, why are you here, and stuff like that. But that was probably the most positive outreach I've ever had on a video, and I've actually, like, I had a kid's mom contact me through Twitter. Like, this woman made a Twitter and contacted me and was like, I really want to thank you because you helped my son. And I was like, I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm like, okay, like, what did I do? And I was like, and I said, I was like, you don't mind me asking, like what was it? And she goes, my son came to me and we got him help because you uploaded a video talking about your depression and confronting it and, shedding light on mental health. And she's like, my son is now, like, doing better, and it's because you made that video and you made him feel comfortable enough to seek help and to come to us. And she was like, I had no idea the thoughts that were going through my son's head. And to me, that was probably, like, one of the, like, most defining moments, I guess, of my career, if you want to call it that, because it's like, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, it's something you'll never forget right there.
Right.
That's something that's like, that's, wow.
Yeah, it was definitely like
that's insane, dude.
a
like,
very
that's
crazy experience.
That's why I know that, I've talked about it, I think, first or second episode, I don't know which one I said of, like, this show. I mean, we're really early in to the episodes, but, like, that's all I want to do is just have, like, a format to just talk on, and it's just, like, that's why, because I always found myself making, like, vlogs, like, I get this spike of inspiration, or sometimes I'm just laying in bed, and I'm just like, I want to make a video about this and that, like, right now, because, like, I'm feeling a certain way, or I'm feeling down, or whatever, and I always, like, and I talked to Ryan about it, and I said it in whatever episode it was. I'm, like, so blank on all that, but, because me and Ryan recently did an episode about, like, anxiety and, like, it was mainly, like, an overthinking type of video, where we, go into, like, how overthinking can be, like, poison and, like, and all this stuff, like, but just talking about it all, like, anxiety, depression, all of it, and, like, and, like, I forgot what I was gonna say, so that's whatever, think of it. Like, that was, like, full-blown had something.
Travis.exe has stopped working. Dude, it's always the worst too, like, when you forget what you want to say right as you're saying it. Like,
I know. Dang it. Totally. I'm still blank. Scratching that. Uh. Okay.
You got this, Travis.
No, I don't.
You got this.
Um, I know it was something from, like, what me and Ryan talked about, so I'm not gonna have to go re-listen to a part of the episode. Alright, gummit. We talked about.
You gotta leave this in, dude. This is gold.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, um, me and Dustin are having a laugh here because I just totally forgot what I was saying right there. It just is
He brain
just
farted. Like he just stopped.
like I just stopped speaking and like awkwardly transitioned into like what I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I don't remember. I just totally black screened is what I told Dustin. Like I don't know. I know we were talking about. It's just funny because it's right on like these deep conversations that's like really dramatic and like kind of and like negative in a way, and then I gotta go and like it's all crazy now. Okay, so we're gonna get back on track. I swear on my life. Unless Dustin has something that he wants to chime in on while I think about this.
I mean, yeah.
Save the day.
On the on the topic of anxiety and depression and stuff like that, we're gonna transition into tattoos here because I really like tattoos and I have a lot of them. I actually have a tattoo on my left forearm of a quote that I used to say at the end of all my vlogs, and I'm sure Travis actually knows what the quote is. He should anyway. I'm gonna take that as a Travis doesn't remember the quote.
I remember the quote, but remember I'm blank, so I'm trying so hard.
It's
okay. Hold on, I know it. Okay. Gotta get my brain back. This is insane. I don't think I've ever been this brain farted in my life. This is like I'm in another world.
This is bad.
Okay, so it's just a bad day, not a bad life. There you go. Like I had to really. I knew it was like bad days was in there.
Right. You got
not a bad day. It's just. Wait, what? Did I say it's just a bad life? Hold on.
It's just a bad day, not a bad life.
It's just a bad day, not a bad life.
There you
like
go.
I just opposite that. Yes, that is what he wanted to get tattooed on him for like forever, and I remember you talking about it even before you got it.
Right. Yeah, and I did it, and it was so worth it. Recently,
you're like, yeah, and I did it. That's it.
I did it. I did. And I recently just got Harley Quinn tattooed on me. Big nerd. Big fan of Batman.
he recently tweeted that out. Follow Dustin. I think it is through DustinsMC. Like DustinsMC. Any of my viewers, like in his YouTube channel. Like that's kind of the whole point of this. Kind of like an interview, like friends conversating, but also just talking to him about like how he got started and everything. Check out his channel, and just as a reminder, in the description below, I'll leave it. If you are kind of into especially if like you're just somebody that loves Minecraft, like I know that you'll enjoy Dustin. Like he knows what he's doing over there, and he's been doing it for long-ish time. Let's say it like that, long-ish time. It probably feels like it just flew by. I can guarantee it. Which is the same for me.
It's crazy. It really it doesn't seem like it's been 4 years, but it has been, which is wild. It blows my mind. It really does. Like time flies, and honestly, like YouTube has pulled me out of like such a slump. And what's really cool about it, and how it helped me personally too, was I used to have terrible social anxiety. Like I mean, horrendous social anxiety. I couldn't talk to anybody, and if I did, I couldn't look them in the eye. Like even my own family. Like if my family would talk to me, I couldn't look them in the eye. I'd have to put my head down or turn my head to talk to them. I couldn't order my own food at a restaurant. This was going on up until like I was like 16, 17 years old, and doing YouTube, and it definitely it gets you out of your comfort zone for sure. Like talking
Oh
to a
yeah, like
microphone.
that's exactly like what I've said to Ryan like in person, and I've probably even said it on the channel somewhere. Is like this is like, and even just with this show, like this in a way, even though I just recently started it, this in a way is like exercising like me, just being just speaking, like because I'm having to literally speak,
Hmm.
and like through YouTube, like and doing food reviews and stuff, it's like it's blown me away how much it's actually helped me, like when you talk to a camera, how much better and like how much more, and like I think that's kind of what you're trying to say is like
Hmm.
it kind of pulls you out of like that shyness. Like I'm totally different than I was when I started, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and a little word of advice for you guys, because this is also another thing that helped me. And if sometimes, you know, just talking about things that are going on in your life, if it's affecting you, whether it be negatively or positively, just like talking to somebody, or like that helps, like that makes a big difference, especially if it's something negative. Just having somebody that will listen. And one thing I've done is I've actually like turned on my phone and like opened up like the camera and recorded a video of me just talking and just venting and like just talking to the camera. And like there's videos that I've recorded that I've never uploaded, that I've like just used to talk
Yeah,
to get it like off
it's
my
just like your
chest.
private, like it's your way to like
It
vent.
Right.
Yeah,
It's almost like a video journal kind of, if you think
yeah,
about it. And it helps. And I give people that advice all the time. And they're like, I just don't have anybody I can really talk to about it. And it's like, like talk to your camera. Turn on your phone.
yeah. Talk to yourself. It's
Right.
like insane as that sounds, but yeah, like
Right.
in a way, like just talking,
But it
it can
helps.
help, like because if you hold it, it's like if you hold stuff all in your head, it's literally like it is like, and me and Ryan talked about it on an episode, um like if you hold it all in your head, it's the worst thing you can possibly do. Like it's like absolutely, because like there's just so much. Like I remember a guy that I watched on YouTube, and I don't remember his name, but he said like anxiety is like anxiety and thinking. Well, just our human brain and like how much we think and how much like so much goes on in your brain at all times is like I think he said something like it's like your brain is a monkey, and that monkey went out and got drunk,
Right.
and then and that monkey now has put some kind of like drug in him through a needle. He tranquilized himself. He like, and it's just like, and that's your brain like all in one. It's like everything that is like the worst thing you can do to your body, like that's what your brain does. I have it all the time. Like I overthink things, or like I just or if anybody has ever done that thing where you're just like you're not even really doing anything and you find yourself just staring at a wall thinking, it's like that is it's good, but it's also bad if you do it too much. Like if you do it for too long, it's just like you could really change your mood in the worst way, and that's what I've done before. Is like I was in a good mood, and then all of a sudden I started thinking all these like things that it that don't matter right now. Because for one, most of the stuff that you're thinking about is future this, future that, and it hasn't even happened yet, or isn't. You're not there yet, so why the heck worry about it? Like,
Right.
yeah, I can understand thinking on something and preparing your brain for something. You always should be prepared for something. You should always be like ready and more whatever you want to call it, like. But the whole overthinking thing, that's one of my biggest issues. And like, and what I was going to say earlier that I forgot is like me and Ryan talked about it, is like we want to use our pain, and like I feel like this is a Dustin thing as well, is like the most beautiful thing that we can do for other people is using like our experience and our pain and what we're dealing with even on a daily basis and turn it into a positive.
Right.
Because like that's exactly why we did the like little because me and Dustin mutually made the Be the Difference series videos,
Mm-hmm.
which was like just me reaching out finally just on my channel. That was probably one of the biggest, like actually a whole video based on like that idea of like be the difference, like be that person that's like willing to try to change something in a good way, like be the better person, be just anything that you can think of in that way, like and another way people could be the difference is like just like you said, talk. If it has to be just to yourself through a camera, just do it, because it's freaking therapy. I think we've all had a situation where, like, we're having a bad day and we're not quite feeling like hanging out with the friend that we're supposed to hang out with at like 6 p.m. or whatever, and then we go hang out with that friend, and then you're just like, I need to just let this out. So you just talk to them about it, and I could guarantee you cannot tell me that you haven't felt a little better after talking about it. Like, it happens every single time for me. Like, and sometimes it's like, well, it doesn't feel as big as an issue now as I thought. Like, or something like that. You know, it's therapy, guys. Like, we live in this world where it's like depression, anxiety, suicide is just this real thing that happens. It's like, I've always told people, like, you know, wake up to the idea, like, that's a real people, breathing, living people that we're, like, that we are just gone because they decided to do it themselves. Like, it's insane, dude. Like,
Right.
like, it's insane what point you have to get to like the freaking balls on you, like the freaking the bravery. Like, it's just like to just take your life. It's like, it blows my mind. Like, and I'm just like, you know, that's why I'm just always trying to like reach out. Like, if anybody's dealing with something, I've even said it on the show, and I'll say it right now, like, if anybody's dealing with something, like, and you got nobody else, and maybe you're not comfortable with I don't know, talking to yourself, you want to just talk to somebody, like, I have an email, Dustin has an email.
Yeah, like I have
I have
a Twitter. Like, yeah, reach out to me.
We have Facebook. Yeah, we could talk. Like we said earlier, like, we're just normal dudes. Like, that's the thing. We're normal dudes that most likely whatever you had that is an issue is most likely something that we have dealt with, and even if it's not, we can still do our freaking best to relate. I've done it all the time. There's some stuff that people are like, oh, I'm like into drugs, whatever, I can't get out, blah blah blah, like, I can't get out of this. I still talk to those people, like, well, do this and that.
Right.
Or, like, you know, try this. Like, even though I've never been in that situation, but I'm like, it doesn't matter what you're going through, I'm willing to talk you through it. Like, and I've even reached out to friends just because I knew they didn't ask me their my opinion, and I'm still just like, it's kind of how I almost like I'm in your business, like, or whatever, but I usually I approach it very, you know, like, well, if you don't mind me talking about this, like, what's, you know, so it's a beautiful thing what the internet can do. It's definitely something that wasn't around a while back, and like, you know, like, that we can't do, like, we wouldn't have been able to do it as, like, well as we can now, even though there are negatives to it. There's things about it, like, that suck, but, like, but standing out and being the positive one is, you know, making that, literally being the difference, like what our shirts said. You know, it could change everything, and like Dustin said earlier with that boy that, like, told his mom, like, that is just, like, absolutely the most, like, heart-touching, like, story I think Dustin's ever told me, because it's just, like, that is wild. Like, and if Dustin just, like, maybe he would have found another outlet. You never know. Like, he
Right.
may have found another way to, like, get help, or, like, or whatever, or find somebody else. But just the fact that Dustin was like, I'm gonna sit down, make this video, and not, like, treat it like, just don't think about it too much and just make it. Because the problem I've had in the past is, like, if you just overthink making a video or something, or like that Jor-El guy about the Chris Stuckman situation, like, if you just overthink it, you're probably not going to do it. So, like, if you just do it, then, like, you'll feel so much better. It doesn't matter how crazy it is, how pitiful you might think it is, like, none of that, no. Like, get those thoughts out of your brain, because that's not how it is.
Right. And another thing, if you're, you know, going through a tough time with something, and, you know, someone reaches out to you and they're like, hey, look, I really need to talk about this, like, I really need to vent, like, be there for that person, even though, like, you may be going through a hard time, because you never know, like, maybe helping that person through their situation might make you feel better about yours. Because this sounds like a really crappy thing to say, but there's always somebody out there that's going to have or are going through worse experience than what you've been through. And I mean, that's really sad to think about, but it's the truth, you know. And if you just sit around and mope about something, and, you know, sit in silence about something that's going on with you, you know, like, You could be using
You'll
that,
never get anywhere.
right?
You never will.
And you could be using that experience to say like, okay, yeah, this sucks, this really hurts, but like I want to use it to help somebody. And that's exactly what Travis and I do. You know, we have used our history of depression and anxiety and, you know, whatever else to help people.
And like, yeah, the thing with me is like I've literally, and I don't know if you've ever had a doctor just straight up tell you like you have depression. Like I don't know if you like actually been diagnosed with it, but I've never been diagnosed with it, and like I know that it runs in my family, and I know that maybe like a little, like I call it like a piece of the cloth got knocked onto me kind of thing. Like it probably did. But I know that I'm not like one of those people that's like deep, you know, I'm not like one of those super, like I know I don't have like just full blown, I mean, I might have depression, but it's not like the intense level like that other people have. Like, but I know for sure, because I've always been kind of back and forth on depression or not kind of thing, but anxiety is like my main, like that is like my main enemy. It's like, it's just, it could take you over, like it really can, like, and, you know, and it can lead, ironic is each one can lead into the other. Anxiety can lead into depression. Anxiety can lead into, like, self-hatred and, like, like, just, why am I like this? Why do I have to be like this? But the whole point of an experience that you're dealing with, no matter what's going on through your head, like Dustin said, there's always someone that has it worse, but you could also be, like, every day, and I said it in an episode before, every day that you're alive, you could be using it to make it better,
right?
Because it's not gonna happen in a day, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not gonna happen like within a day. Like whatever you're dealing with, this anxiety, this whatever, this social anxiety, guys. Like anybody that has that, I've been there. Like I have been like in that. Like I didn't want to talk in front of a classroom. I didn't want to, you know, all of that stuff. Feeling just so freaking shy to an extreme, like the worst you could be level, like of just I can't, like Justin said, it's like I can't speak to somebody, like it's just like it you know. And I've gotten better, like by a lot. I'm a much better, different person than I was like in high school or whatever. I always think back, man, I wish I could do high school again, which not really, but it's like I wish I could do high school again so that I could be this person now and be super like. I would be so much like more of a people person because I love people, man. Like I love, like, you know, it's a love-hate relationship, you know, everyone has that, but it's like, you know, I love just communicating with people, like just like there's just something, it's a part of life that's truly, I don't know, truly special, like just because we're all in it together. We were all born, and we didn't choose to be born, like,
Right.
you know, and all this stuff. So it's like we just gotta go with the punches, and it's like, you know, communication is key. Like I always, you know, I've always felt like, you know, like I said, if I was the same person I am now back in high school, it would be a lot different. But honestly, it's like, maybe I shouldn't think like, oh, I wish that, because then I probably wouldn't be the person I am now, and that just makes it better. Like the life happened the way it happened, and right now it's like because I dealt with anxiety and all that stuff in school and like just extremely shy. Like now it's like I've learned to not be that, and I'm trying to help people through that. Like, I have a past experience. So your past is your past. Everybody changes. I've always told other people, like, from age 10 to age 90, you're not going to be the same person. It's just not going to happen. Like, you're never going to be exactly, maybe, like a different version of yourself that changes very slowly, but, like, you're never going to be exactly the way that you were because, you know, we all mature and we all whatever. Some of us don't, but, you know, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, like, you know, you have to do the work. I know it sucks, and me and Dustin, like, we know this pain. Like, you have to, like, mentally exhaust yourself, like, to, like, okay, because there was probably a day, Dustin, that you had where you were just, like, that social anxiety thing, and maybe, you know, maybe you could even go into that, like the day that you were, you may not remember the exact day, but like the moment that you just thought like, I've got to change this about myself, or I'm going to deal with this my entire life? Because I've had that moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
I'm sure Travis remembers. I dated a girl. I'm not going to mention names, and I moved to Florida with her. And things obviously didn't work out, and I didn't realize that like how like depressed and how unhappy I was with my relationship, because I was a completely different person. And she just kind of had like this control over me and over what I could do and what I couldn't do. And I just went along with it because I was like, I love this girl, like this is my life, this is how it has to be.
Sometimes you don't realize it until you're out.
Right. And the last thing this girl ever said to me was, I wish you would have just killed yourself. And to hear that from somebody, normally to hear that from anybody, you would be devastated. But for me, I was like, it was a sick wake up call, because I was like, what am I doing? Why am I taking this? And because of that, like, I am the person I am today. And that's actually when I started, I forced myself to daily vlog. And because I was hurt, obviously, I was with this girl for like 4 years, and again, that's a long time to like dedicate your life to somebody. And I was just like, what am I doing? And it all just kind of like clicked in my brain, and I was like, this is not who I was as a person. This is not who I am. And I started daily vlogging, and it like just kind of the real me came out, and now I am who I am today because of that experience. But like that was the moment where I was like, I have to change everything because this is not who I want to be. This is not who I am. And I kind of had to find myself again. And that's why, like, this may sound kind of weird, but like Florida holds such like a significant place in my heart, because like, I'm a firm believer too, and everything happens for a reason. And like it just like holds such a special place in my heart, because like that's where I rediscovered myself, right? Like,
yeah, it changed your life. Like,
yeah,
it was like a reason that you even went there in the first place, and like it
right.
evolved. It evolved you, and like everyone I think has had that moment. But there's some there's young kids that may be listening that are like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, but you're gonna get there. It's like everyone will have that defining moment. You're gonna get hurt, and like it's a sad thing about life, and I like, it just is what it is. Like, you have to go through literal, sometimes just life just throws pain at you because you need to learn from it. It's just
right.
like you might have literally, destiny may have just said like, you're in this relationship to learn from this relationship. Like,
exactly.
I don't know, like it sucks because you're there to like, you want to love the person, you want to be there, like, and I think we've all had a relationship like that. It's just like, and when you're out, it makes you like kind of think about it, and after years pass and stuff, you're just like, because I have this about certain things and friendships too, where it's just like, this is like, you just think to yourself like, man, if I could just slap my past self, why was I even in that? It's like,
right.
It's just like this whole thing of like, why? Like, but but you mature and you change, and, and we could beat that over their head so much. Like, that's just like, it's basically the same thing being said over and over, but yeah, like it's just true. Like, that's just life. And I hope in a way that anyone listening, and anybody that's gotten to this point, like, I hope that it's helped you in some way to think, sit back and think, like, even if it takes, because sometimes with me, it's like, it takes me to watch a video and get inspired from a video, and then after I've like, it's been like 2 hours for me for it to click or something of like, like they were right, or, whatever, or, because you may not think of it right away, but even if you have to take time to like think about what we're talking about and all that, we greatly hope that this somehow, like, this video could even be like one of those videos that helps somebody, because you never know. Like Dustin with that kid, like it changed somebody's life,
right.
And like he almost didn't even make the video. So that's probably one of our biggest pieces of advice in this whole episode is like when it comes to talking, like, or making a video, or like doing a recording of yourself in some way, just don't think about it and just make it happen. And like that's a lot of stuff in life anyway. Sometimes you just gotta take the leap of faith, and it's most of the time going to land. Like you're gonna land it. Like it's there's some times where a leap of faith can be dangerous, but but that's just if you're just being stupid. But
Right.
if you really kind of think out, your leap of faith, and it's just crazy. It's crazy what life can do. It really is.
Right. And, back then too, I didn't have a driver's license because I had seizures, and I just kind of accepted the fact that like, oh, I'm never going to have my driver's license back again, like this is it. This is my life. And I got comfortable, and now, I didn't have a driver's license. I had no car. I had no money. I had nothing. Except my YouTube channel. That was the one thing that remained consistent for me. And, now I have a great job. I make decent money. I actually just got some really good news today, but I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, and I cannot tell what it is on camera yet, but there will be an announcement on Twitter. And it's a very, very, very big step for not only like me, but my YouTube channel as a whole. And, now I also, now I have my driver's license. I have a brand new 2018 car that I got back in September. And, I'm
It's a
I'm
nice
happy.
car.
Yeah. It's my Stormtrooper. My car looks like a Stormtrooper.
It kind of is. Like when
Right.
you really look at it, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah. And like I look back at it now, like I'll be like driving to work, and like I'll look at my car, and I'm just like, what if I, never started daily vlogging? Like, what if I never made that video talking about my depression? Like just all those what ifs. Like it's, like I said, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And it's the same thing too, like when it comes to people in relationships, is I feel like people, are put in your life for a reason. And, it may last, it may not last, but again, people come and go from your life all the time. And if you're a younger viewer, like, just to be real here, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, that happens. Like, you may meet some girl or, make a new friend and think like, oh my god, this person's going to be in my life forever, and then, something can happen and you never see that person again, you never speak to that person again, and that's just how life works. But, when stuff like that happens, you just need to understand, like, this is life, this is what it is, and you take that and you grow from it and you become a better person. And honestly, that's probably like the most beautiful thing about life. And Travis is a big music guy. Kendrick Lamar, yeah. I'm sure a lot of you, even if you don't listen to rap music, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Kendrick Lamar, but he has a song called Poetic Justice. And this song has a lyric in it that honestly stands out to me. And he says in the song, if I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? And now, Travis, before I tell you how I think about that, like, when you hear that, how do you take that? If I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? And the reason I'm asking is you and I have the same talking like Mike Tyson. We have the same thought process on a lot of things. Like, we see things eye to eye.
Very similar people, but yeah, what do I think of that? It's like, I don't know if he's trying to go for, like, I don't know, like, flower blooms in a dark room. For one, I mean, the whole, the logic to that is, like, I don't know if he's trying to trick your brain, like, obviously sunlight is like how flowers bloom. But I don't know. I just really have to sit and think about it. But what do you think about it? Like, what do you take from it?
The way I take from it is to me, he's saying, like, even in your darkest time, and it may be in your darkest time that you can have the most beautiful outcome.
More, because I kind of thought that, and I was like, I think there's more to this that I'm not thinking of. Like, yeah, duh. Like, yeah, even in your darkest time, like, that's where the light can shine. Like,
right.
It's this whole thing, yeah.
Because think about it, like flowers are beautiful, right? Like, think of a rose. They're very beautiful flowers, and when he says, if I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, it's basically saying, like, yeah. And I mean, I've had that experience too. Like, I've been in a very low point in my life, but that low point in my life produced one of the most beautiful outcomes. And that's the way I look at it. You know, like even in your darkest time, you know, when it's all said and done, it's going to be the most beautiful outcome you've ever seen.
I've been telling this to people. I don't know why I've been saying this so much lately, but it's been really kind of weighing on my heart. Is this like of this one sentence, like somebody that's having a bad day or a bad time, like, and I'm in a current situation right now. Like it's like my life isn't absolutely perfect. Like it's like I'm having some struggles and stuff like this, and it's like, and all I could think to myself is like the only way that you could get yourself out of this hole is climb. And, like, it's as simple as that. Like, you just have to have a game plan. Have, like, because, you know, recently, you know, I've had some pretty bad struggles, and then I just, like, and now I just have this, like, plan for it, you know, like, to dig out, like, to climb out, like, sometimes you really are in a hole, like, you know, for instance, for example, like, around where I live, there's pretty good amount of homeless people that, you know, like, will approach me and, like, all this stuff, like, and, you know, asking for money, and you know, and I'm not trying to make myself sound like the best ever or whatever. One time I was at Taco Bell. I don't know why I stopped. I think I was checking my food because they kind of have that habit of like, oh, not everything's in here, and I think every one of us is at least once like, okay, I'm gonna check my bag before I take off because I know, they didn't put it all in there. And so like I think I stopped at the edge of the driveway so that people can can come up behind me, because obviously I wasn't going to take up the space for the other car to come to the window. But like this homeless guy approached, and he kept his distance. He was super respectful. He was like, I heard him like yelling something like, you know, from a distance, and so I rolled down my window and I was like, what? Like, excuse me, what'd you say or whatever? What'd you say, Sonny? But he was like, oh man, I don't mean no harm, man, but like I'm homeless, and like you know, I don't know. He just said the usual thing, like, and you know, this man could go, he could buy drugs, he could buy whatever he wants, but I still went ahead and pulled out a $20 bill and gave it to him because like I had got paid and I was doing really well at the time financially and everything. I was like, you know, I don't think it really matters what this guy uses it on. It's just the fact that I do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because sometimes you just got to be the bigger person. And, like, that's just how I think of it. And anybody in the comments, you know, wants to, like, argue that, like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Like, let me know. Like, I want to hear your, like, you know, like, I just want to know what you think about that. Like, it's like, you know, I went ahead and gave him $20, and, like, he just, you know, he had this face. Like, his face was, like, just, I don't know, kind of blown away, like, just like, oh man, like, God bless you, man, like, thank you, like, and all this stuff. And it's funny too, because even recently I ran into him at Walmart, and I heard him say something like, hey man, I'm on the street, and like, so I'm just like, yeah, you don't recognize me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in my head, I'm like, yeah, you don't recognize me, but I think I just said, oh man, I'm broke this time, man, I can't, you know, like, and you know, Ashley will walk by and she always tells me, like, just don't look at them in the eyes, like, or, you know, just, like, kind of, you know, like, because I understand, you don't have to always, I'm not saying you have to help homeless people all the time. They got to get themselves out of that. But that's the point I'm trying to make with saying this at all, is, like, homeless people, man, like, sometimes, like, that is, like, the worst point you could be to, where it's, like, $0, zero vehicle, zero home, but what blows me away about these guys that, like, hold the sign and everything, they do it at my Walmart all the time, dude. Like, all the time. Like, on, like, holding the sign, saying something like, homeless and need help or whatever. Like, me and Ashley have sat and agreed, like we've talked about this. Like, you're not going to get anywhere by holding, like, yeah, if someone could reach out and help, but sometimes you just gotta do the work yourself. Like, go, like, these guys that are staying all day, and I'm telling you, like, I've sat and, like, I've, like, drove past a homeless person, I come back, like, 6 hours later, he's still there. Like, this dude is, like, persistent, like, I'm gonna get help, like, and it's like, they could have spent that whole day job hunting. Like,
Right.
you know, it's like they could have. This town that I live in has so much. Like, there's a mall. There's all these food places, and coming off of that, like, I recently met a homeless person, which at the come and go gas station. Like he was trying to he was
That's a very
trying
suggestive name.
yeah, it really is. KUM, by the way. But yeah.
I prefer
Have
shoot
you
and
never
scoot.
been in? You never been in a KNG?
No, I have not.
Oh well, like well I guess I should have expected you to laugh at it, but I thought maybe you knew about the gas station, so
Oh,
I thought
I knew about him. I've just never been in one. Yeah.
well, I was just like, well, I kind of expected like, well, if he doesn't know about this and I drop this name of this place, he's gonna laugh about it. But but yeah.
I'm a child.
Um
I'm 26 years old, guys, and I laugh at farts. I'm just gonna put it out there. No, I agree 100%. Like, I would love to sit down and like have a conversation with a homeless person one day, and so it's like, what happened in your life that led you to where you are? Like why?
and it'd probably be the usual like girlfriend kicked me out and like, she was paying the bills and like all this, but like, but I am always just so curious like where did it happen, like, and how long has it been?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely crazy to think about. Definitely crazy to think about. It's like sometimes I see that and like I feel like really bad for that person, but at the same time it's like, how do I know that they didn't do something messed up to get themselves in that situation?
Yeah. Very
like
true.
you never know. And I'm gonna open up about something. So, 'cause we're
All right.
going back to like the whole like if you're going through a bad time, if you're there for somebody else that may be going through something worse, it can make you feel better. And I've actually literally just had this happen. About 2 weeks ago, I get a call one day that my grandparents' dog died. And I don't know if you guys ever lost a pet, but I'm sure you have. It's like losing a family member. It really is.
It's pretty awful, yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa lost one of his dogs, and he was heartbroken. An hour later, I find out that my grandpa's blood work came back bad, and he has to go see a specialist. And I was like, like, holy crap, this is it. Like, this is here comes a new low in my life. And this girl that I dated in high school reached out to me at like 2 a.m. of all times and was like, hey, like something happened and like I really need somebody here. And I instantly stopped focusing on what I was going through, and I helped her. Here, my ex-girlfriend, her now ex-boyfriend tried to take her life with a garbage bag while her 2 children were upstairs. And he is now in jail. And she reached out to me because she didn't know who else to talk to. And, I did what any friend would, and I let her vent. And I just let her confide in me. And it honestly made me feel so much better about my situation because, like, I realized, again, there are people out there that may be going through something worse, and that this girl is traumatized, and she's going to be traumatized for the rest of her life. That is something she has to live with for the rest of her life. But like, I kind of just put my pride to the side, and I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't about me. Like, I need to step up here, and I need to be a good person because she has nobody else to talk to about this. And I did. And honestly, I feel so good about it. But it's still sad and scary to think that happened to her. You know what I mean? Like, nobody should ever go through that.
Yeah, isn't it funny how it's sometimes the people that you've had in your past, and then they kind of bail on you? And I'm not saying that this girl did that
She did.
or whatever. Like, just in like, just in like in a girls, man, girls. What the heck, girls? It's like a girl or something or somebody you date. Isn't it funny how like you could like date somebody and then you don't talk for like freaking maybe even like freaking 7 years going or something, and then like they reach out to you because they're like, I don't know, they just have like this connection of like like you were the first like person to really like be different than all these other guys or whatever,
Right.
that kind of situation, or it may not even be a girlfriend situation. It could just be like a friend that's like, ever since I bailed on you, I've had all these crappy people in my life, and then they come back to, basically the point is they come back to realize like you were the real one, like you were the real one that actually cared, and like and I mean, realistically, I won't sugarcoat it. Like, they shouldn't have let you go because of that. You know what I mean? It's like, they shouldn't have been that way toward you. And it's It's just interesting how that works. Life always comes
Full
can't even
circle.
speak. Full circle in every single way, in
Right.
all the time.
It does. It's absolutely crazy. Life is just insane, like in general. Like I said, I literally went from getting absolutely terrible news 2 weeks ago to just now finding out again. I'm in an NDA, so I can't say it on here. But yeah, like I just have an
Can't wait to
opportunity.
hear the announcement.
Yeah, I just have a great opportunity, and I just feel like that everything happened in my life for a reason that just led me to, even just sitting here talking to you. Like what if I would have never made that video about Easy Now? Like what if you would have never found my channel? Like we wouldn't be sitting here
Yeah, we
talking.
probably wouldn't, like in life could have been funny and like been like, oh, I'll still somehow throw these guys together, like and I might have found you another way, but mostly like it's like yeah, but my prediction would be like we probably wouldn't be friends and talking about anything,
Right.
and all the good times on Xbox, like it's just like all these like, because me and Dustin have like played games like GTA or whatever for like hours, and it's just like
Mhm.
and like and those are some of like my fondest Xbox memories just because of like usually like the group of people he has is already like they're already great or whatever and like funny or whatever and then like it's just always a good time like no matter what
Mhm.
it always has been.
Yeah, back when Travis used to upload gameplays on his Average Fox channel. I mean, it was just so fun. Like just playing Grand Theft Auto because like I don't know. Like do you remember like when even when we weren't recording, it was like me, you and Ashley like playing Grand Theft Auto, and I remember I was like pointing, I was like, "Hey Travis, or you," but I was like pointing at you with my character, and you were dying.
Yeah, like
you were
like your
dying.
character is just pointing
Yeah.
at me and I'm just like what?
Yeah. I was like, go over there and get a drink.
And and to this day, like in the videos, like you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna probably link one of the gameplays in the description because like I feel like I'm gonna link whatever my favorite one is. I'll go and find it later and link it. And if it's there, it's there. But I'm probably gonna link the one that has "That's my exit" in because like
That's
man
my
actually still because you said that still use that driving on the interstate sometimes. I'd rather she'll say it or I say it. Like, because sometimes you're just driving on the interstate and you go onto the exit kind of fast. That's literally what Dustin did in the game. Like, it was just like, we're just driving and he just like, and I don't even remember, I think I had to turn around because I was like, oh, I'm going to go where Dustin goes. And then you just zoom, like, just off of an exit. And it's like, that's my exit.
That's
like,
my
it's
exit.
just like, the way you said it is just like, just perfect. And like, and like even though like I realized later like I don't, this isn't really what I want to do, it's not really like it's more of like a side hobby, and like so my food reviews and everything like those take up time, like those
Right.
take up my time, and like and I'm already editing those, so like if I was to like try to do gameplays now and everything, and I've even tried it, I got like a couple Doom gameplays on the channel, and I was just like, and I kind of just realized like I don't know, maybe it's just not, even though I enjoy games, I love gaming so much, like me and Dustin are huge gamers, and like I love gaming, but like gaming is my downtime. So if I put like, if I put work involving into games, like it's just gonna take up more, it's just more to edit and more to take up time, but I love it, and if I, but like just Dustin, like just like I'll never forget just capturing the freaking like plane getting stuck into the air and it wasn't flying anymore and we were freaking out about it, like what is going on. Like I remember that part just being like there's just bullets flailing everywhere, with like everyone was kind of split up doing their own
Right.
thing.
We all
It's like,
died.
if you play Grand Theft Auto 5 online, it's like you do these missions together that you load into, and it's like a little session, and you gotta like try to work together to beat the mission. But most of the time, it was like, oh, you can get into a separate car and practically beat the mission yourself, like do it all for everyone else. So like in that particular one, everyone was just like spread out, like just it's so much fun. Like, and I'm so happy that I recorded all of that back in the day, because like I don't know, like it was actually when I was trying to learn Adobe Premiere, so like it was a really good way to me to like learn how to like edit and like all of that, and putting in the bleeps. It
Yeah,
was always so much fun.
because Mike and I
It was
have
fun.
like serious potty mouths. Do you remember when Mike beat that the rest of that mission? We were all dead, and Mike beat that mission on
Yeah,
the
he
freaking
beat that
slowest
mission
moped.
on like a moped, like,
Uh-huh.
and I just like I'll never forget him saying like, "Oh yeah, Tupac's on." Like I was just like he was so chill about it, like, and, and then I don't know what was it like. Oh yeah, I made the downfall of Mike because he happened to fall off near the end, and we that was probably the most I've ever been afraid of someone else dying, because if you're the last person in one of these sessions, then if you die, it's over. You have to start all over. So it was up to Mike for him to beat the mission, and I was just watching. Like I'm so nervous that on this little moped that he was gonna get just slammed by a truck, or like, or some random enemy finds him and just guns him down, and like near the end there he like falls down and
Yeah. Do you remember when we launched the car in the tree?
yeah, that yeah, I still have that recorded on Xbox, and I've revisited it kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a few months ago. I'm like, this is great. It's just like we were just literally stuck, and when you go to first person, it's just like branches like just in your face, like
Yeah.
inside the truck. Like it was glitching so freaking hard. Like, and all it was we ramped off of that dirt going up the hill on that in that one place. Like we just ramped it, and like I was thinking, okay, so we're midair now, and I think we're gonna be able to land back on the road. Tree, like just tree was in the way, like.
That was so
And then
funny.
like everyone else showed up. Like, what are you doing? It was almost a real life moment. Like we're stuck in a tree, and then people are just like, "Where are they?" Like, "Oh, look up!" Like
Yeah.
just there we are. Like it was insane.
We're in a tree. Didn't we also play that game mode on there where it was like hide and seek, kind of like one person was the hunter and the other people would have to hide,
Yeah,
and it was
like
dark.
slashers, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Did,
it's so freaking fun.
didn't I?
Like that. I got some recordings of that too.
What was it? You or me that like one of us, either I clubbed you in the head with the flashlight, or you just come up behind me and was like thunk, and just whack me in the back
I
of the
don't.
head with
I
the
don't
flashlight.
remember what it was, but whatever it was, I just remember there being screaming, because I don't like if I hit you, then you weren't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
You were just like, I don't know where Travis is, but I'm so afraid. Clunk.
Nope.
Just because like it's so loud. It was always so loud when you die. Like it's just so quiet, and then just like a sound out of nowhere, like a gun or whatever. It's like God.
It was crazy. I think one of my favorite
Right.
series I've ever done, actually, it was on my Minecraft channel, but it wasn't Minecraft. It was my Resident Evil 7 series. And I bleeped out all the cuss words, but dude, that game literally scared the lights out of me. Like,
Yeah, dude, and everyone's playing Resident Evil 2 remastered now. And
right.
like, I don't know if you got that or not, or did you?
I did not, but I've been watching Vash on YouTube, VASH 12346 or 12359 12359. That's his name. He is hilarious because his commentary. It's just so like he just doesn't care, and I mean like the things that come out of this guy's mouth just blow my mind. Like it just cracks me up. Like if you guys have not looked him up, I definitely recommend it. Travis, I definitely recommend it. But it's so funny, like it's just the little things he does. It's so simple because in Resident Evil 2, there's a guy that tries to kill you. His name's Mr. X. And for whatever reason, every time Vash runs into Mr. X, like he puts clips of DMX, like sound clips of DMX in the video, and it's so funny. Like Mr. X busts down this door, and then all you hear is knock knock, open up the door, it's real. And I laughed so hard I cried, just because like
Oh, okay, yeah, freaking the Deadpool song. Okay.
yeah.
Like, knock knock, open up the door. Like,
Yeah, knock, knock,
I
open up
love
the
that
door,
in
it's
the
real.
freaking Deadpool movies.
And it was all
Oh,
because
man.
Mr. X busted through this door, and every time he'd see him, he'd like do the DMX growl, and he'd be like, "X gon' give it to you." What? Like
It's fantastic.
it was
like,
it's just done so well. But
man,
like,
I miss Pewdie doing games, man. I miss that so much because it was always so freaking funny when he got
His-
scared.
his Happy
Oh,
Wheels
man.
series, man. That's how it was with my Resident Evil 7 series. Like I remember it was so funny because this dude popped out of a wall. And like I mean I'm just like, going along. I bleeped out all the swear words in it, which made it hilarious, by the way. But this dude bust out of this wall, and it scared me so bad that I literally paused my Xbox in the game for 5 hours. And I put the SpongeBob thing, 3 hours or 5 hours later, like, and it was just so funny. But the game literally, like, just it scared me that bad. Like, I'm pretty sure I crapped myself.
Behind the scenes, DustinsMC, he craps
Right.
himself playing Resident Evil 7.
And it was just so funny. But like just little things
What was
like
that
that.
thing
where I
that
would edit.
Willard did recently that made me really remember that just now? What was that thing where he like was like, I think he said in his post, I literally crapped myself in this. Like I don't know what
Oh,
what he was playing.
he hit a clip in Fortnite. That's what it
Like,
was. Yeah.
It was something where he just like went like, oh, like he got like really surprised, and then he was like, all right, guys. So I think we have worn out the audience at this point because we've been going for so freaking long, and like I would love to just talk with Dustin, record, and do like a 2 hour whatever, but it's like, man, I'm kind of like I always look at it as like once I get into that hour, I usually am already like I'm worn out on what to say. Like I don't really know what to talk about because it's like everything's all been covered. So I think, guys, this is going to be a great point to stop it here. And I would like to thank Dustin for coming on. Definitely check out DustinsMC on YouTube. Let's get this guy to 10,000 subscribers. I know it's probably going to take a little while, but like he's at 8K now. Like he's doing it big, like inspiring kids over there on the channel with his Minecraft stuff. I greatly appreciate him for coming on, and I will let him say his goodbyes.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, I've never done anything like this before, so this is my first time, and I loved it. And we should definitely do it again. Maybe you and Ryan can all get on it sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to happen again.
Yeah.
So look for Dustin in a future episode.
If you guys do come over and check out the channel, thank you. I appreciate you. I will not let you down. I actually have a couple series going on. I have a tutorial on a big farm that I'm building, and I have a Let's Build a City series, which is like really interactive. So if you guys like want to give your input on like what I should build and how I should build it, it is like basically a series based off of audience interaction solely. So like I did not say, hey Siri, phone, stop that. Don't ever do that again. My phone almost called me Captain Daddy. Don't ask. It's a long story. If you guys don't believe me, listen. Hey Siri. What's my name?
You're Dustin, but you asked me to call you Captain Daddy.
See, I wasn't lying. It's a real thing. See you guys.
Guys, that is probably the best way to leave this show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and all that beautiful stuff, guys. And you guys will be hearing from me and Dustin in the near future. Trav out, and peace out.